Hello and welcome to my channel. Today is another update to my game MorphaVerse. It is a monster taming, round-based combat deck building game. It's been a while since I recorded a video, but I think it's about time for an update and to show you the progress I have made. Last time I showed you the combat system and that I'm starting to implement the overworld. I created two areas for the overworld using the Unity Terrain tool. The two areas only serve to test some basic mechanics on the overworld, like for example entering from one area to another area, jumping from higher levels to lower levels, and rotating the camera perspective should give me several options for my game to highlight or hide places on the overworld. I will only use the two areas for my demo version, which will be soon playable for free on Steam, so don't forget to wishlist the game and test it out. I would appreciate feedback and ideas for improvement. After I created the overworld, I wanted it to be more lively. That's why there are wild monsters running around the overworld. And if you get close to the monsters, they can behave aggressively and attack. The number of monsters that can attack you varies, so the player never really knows how many monsters he has to fight against. So far I've only used one monster that I got from a free Unity asset. The monster called Metalon, so called by the developer Meshtint, was completely sufficient for testing purposes. But to add a little more variation, I bought another package and added more monster to my game. I also added more attacks and 4 monster types to my game. The types are neutral, water, fire and nature. I hope that the effectiveness of the types is intuitive and that I don't have to explain for the demo that water is, for example, very effective against fire. In a lot of monster taming games, the monsters collect experience points after each battle they win, and through that they can reach higher levels. In my game, after winning a battle, the player gets soul points that he can use to level himself or his monsters. If the player loses a battle, he also loses all souls points that he did not use, just like in a Souls-like game like Dark Souls. Leveling with souls points gives me the advantage that the player can decide for themselves which monster they level without the monster having to fight. In order to reward the player for exploring areas, items are randomly found. Some items are scripted, others are randomized. Since the items are constantly needed in the game, the player also gets items after winning a battle, or the player can buy or sell items from a dealer. The player character is very weak in terms of status values and is even inferior to the weakest monsters in combat. So that the player can improve his stats, he can add equipment to his character that he will find through the game. The same applies to attacks from the player. These must also be found in the game. And what would a monster taming game be if fight against other NPCs weren't also possible? These fights are different from fights against wild monsters because the NPC can also use cards during the battle. Admittedly, the dialogues of my NPCs are rather simple, but I think it is sufficient for my demo. And the last point I want to mention in this video is the UI. I would never thought that the UI would have taken me so much time to get it to this level. I mean, it doesn't look good, but I just wanted to make it work so you could actually play something. I will have to think about something during the development in order to be able to develop the UI faster and better. Even if some bugs can still occur, it should be enough for this demo. So that's it for this video. Thank you for sticking around until the end. I will also create a Discord channel for people who play the demo. I hope there are enough people to help me and give me tips on what would make the game better. If you liked the video, then leave me a comment or a like. Thank you, and until next time. Bye bye.